Hello everyone, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my first video in 3 weeks. I know you guys were about to send in the MI6 because you were just so concerned about where I was. The truth is, I have been quite busy with some little deadline things and I have just had to kind of put the videos off for a little bit until I get caught up. So now I'm a little bit better, and so I thought I'd make a video, chat with you guys, tell you what's been going on, hopefully catch up with you. You can tell me how your September went. Like, give me all the tea, all the drama, especially the family drama or the neighbor drama. You know, I love it. Let's go ahead and dive right into writing. First of all, let's talk about Bitter Bones. This is my middle grade horror that is coming out September of next year. I don't have any more information date related other than that, but the great thing is we have started discussing the cover stuff. So my editor reached out to me in September and asked if I would send her like a little description of what my main character looks like, both in the beginning and kind of how the story, like how he looks as the story goes on, because things are kind of changing. And so I gave her those descriptions as well as like sending her some pictures and things like that. So it looks like they might be going the direction of a portrait of him on the cover, just like they did with the Odds and the Glass Witch. I heard no news if it's going to be the same cover artist. I'm assuming it actually is a different one, just because I haven't heard that it's the same. And I'm super pumped to see what they do with it. I'm hoping it's like a good, cheesy, spooky, goosebumpsy cover. You know what I mean? Like, you know the type. That's what I'm hoping this is. Just from the conversations with my editor, it seems like the team is wanting to take it in more of a spooky route. Like, really scary is more of the term. They want to get the teachers, librarians, and kids that are into the whole scary doll thing, because apparently that is a genre of middle grade horror that sells really well. I think they're gonna put elements of that on the cover, so right away a librarian or whoever can know by looking at it, like, oh, that's a spooky doll book, get it for the kids. Other than that, with Bitter Bones, I have just been waiting for copy edits. They should be literally coming any day now. In fact, I might be having them by the time this comes up, which is another reason why I'm just like so overwhelmed with all my little deadlines. But it's totally fine. I'm living the dream. But I did want to show you guys some really fun stuff that I got. So I'm thinking ahead already for the launch and everything like that, like how I want my decorations and my table and things like that to look. So I was at Michael's perusing, as one does, to get in the Halloween spirit, and I found some good table decor. Look at how I said that. That was so fancy. First of all, I found this little doll head. Creepy as hell. Love her. Thought she'd look really great on my table. Let's put her up there so she can watch you. And then I saw these little candles. Like, obviously I'm not gonna light them, but as for like the decor, is so cool. There's a huge bone theme in Bitter Bones, obviously, but I thought like decorating the table somehow with this, and then like if it comes out near Halloween, I'll have like a candy bucket for the kids, and then I've got the coloring pages of the Glass Witch and the Odds and like a whole bunch of other swag. Like, I'm just envisioning my table already, and I think it's gonna be pretty dope. Now let's move on and talk about some Project Pyro. This is my YA thriller that I currently have like 4 drafts of. It is with my agent and she was reading it. Well, that's what happened in August. September, Samantha has gotten back to me with revision notes. I have not opened them because I've been working on other things. That is something I'm going to do tomorrow though. But it has been read. It has been perceived by the agent, which is very exciting. And from the email that she sent along with her notes, it seems like she's really excited too, and she can't wait to, you know, get it tidied up so it can go on sub and everything like that. So I'm very excited. It probably looks like we won't be going on sub this year. Again, I haven't even opened the attachment. I've just read the email, but I'm just assuming with how publishing works, everything's gonna die down after Thanksgiving and probably not wake up again until like February sometime. So it just kind of probably makes sense that I will be working on it throughout the rest of the year and early into next year, and then we'll go on sub hopefully early next year. I don't know, we'll see. I'm super excited for the project though. And then the last project that I worked on this month was When the Sea Came for Us. I have a whole video series now at this point talking about this book, so I'll just link you to those. But this is my new version of an old book I wrote a long time ago, and I officially started the first draft and I am 3 chapters in. Isn't that right, Wiener? Are you excited? This book has been really interesting to be fiddling around with. First of all, it is a romantasy, so I was just expecting to go into it first person. Most romantasy that I've read is first person, but I got in there and I started drafting and it was just like pulling teeth. I was like, oh, this isn't working. This is weird. So I had a panic, like I had a little panic, and I was like, wow, I have this great premise and I can't write it. That's just great, Linz. Like, this is finally the book that ends you, you know what I mean? But I still had some more tricks up my sleeve because I was like, okay, tomorrow we're gonna start fresh, we're gonna start anew, and I'm gonna go back and write a flashback chapter of what happened to my main character. You know, all of your characters have some trauma in their past that like gives them the direction of the story nowadays. So I was like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna write that, and maybe if I knew my main character or just knew her voice a little bit better, because that's the main problem, was the voice. It was just not voicing for me. I am such a voice driven writer and reader. Like that's one thing that pulls me into the story, makes me love it, is the voice. So I was like, you know what, the next day I'm gonna write that flashback and I'm just gonna see what comes out. And what came out was a super voicey third person flashback, and I was like, oh, that's really, really weird. As a voicey author, I feel like I shine best in first person, and when I did the odds, which is technically third person, there was a second person narrator interspersed throughout the whole entire third person narration, but it came in third person. So I was like, you know what, let me go back to the front and we'll try writing the first chapter in that third person voice that I came up with, and I did it. And I'm a little self-conscious about it. I have had some early readers kind of help me feel better about it. Then one of my lovely friends, Kate Kavanaugh, actually, she was one of my readers, and she was like, don't you like The Saint of Steel by T. Kingfisher? She's like, those are romanticities and those are all in third person. And I was like, oh my gosh, you are so right, and those are so good. So I felt so much better after that. I actually really like T. Kingfisher and her third person voice. One of my favorite books by her is under her original name, not her pen name, Ursula Vernon. It's Castle Hangnail. It's a spooky middle grade. It's absolutely hilarious. Like if you like the odds, you will love this. This is so good. And so I was like, oh yeah, she can do voice really well in third person. So I just took, you know, a little crash out, and then I got it together. I put on my big girl panties and I was like, you know what, I'm okay. So yes, I had the first 3 chapters done. I am immensely proud of them. I think that after I wrote them and cleaned them up, and a bunch of people hyped me up and they're like, yes, third person actually works, like you still were able to make it voicey, you're good to go, then I was happy. Another fun thing that happened in these first 3 chapters that I didn't really plan for as much, I think I've spoken before about how I have a really messy, well, my main character Mira and the love best friend kind of situation going on. They have a really messy, toxic relationship where they, not toxic, messy, where they just are best friends. They grew up together and then they kind of started messing around, and they're just like, uh oh, like things are awkward now, like what do we do? Well, we still love each other like deeply as besties, but then now there's this thing between us. And that was how it was written in the original, and now in this one that is also true, but it wasn't just like one hookup one time that ruined everything. It's like a continual, we keep doing this thing even though like we might not be a love match, but like we are so deeply in love as friends, but we keep doing this thing, and it's just, it was so delicious. And I was like, oh no, I love Triangle Too Close to the Sun, like I ship it. So that's very fun for me, and that is mainly everything that happened writing wise. So I'm gonna switch over and talk about some reading. In the month of September, I read 9 books and I DNF'd 5. I enjoyed a vast majority of them, which is always a good thing. And I feel like I could pull any of them off this list to talk to you about. Murder in the Family was really fun if you want a thriller. It is reading like someone just gave you a dossier of a murder documentary. Like apparently there is pictures, there's transcripts, there's interviews, profiles, all of this stuff. And you are getting behind the scenes of this murder mystery documentary as people are making it. And yeah, it was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I also liked every time I go on vacation someone dies. This was so voicey. Oh my gosh. I think the main character is very unlikable, so it's gonna be like a hard no for some people who need likable characters. But if you're wanting to learn to do that real human voicey voiceness, delicious. I feel like I want to get my own copy just so I can tab it up because she did such a great job. But my favorite of the month, Trials of the Sun Queen, you guys. I fear I have to admit I am now a fairy smut girly. Do things make the most logical sense? No. Is this the next Pulitzer Prize winning novel? No. I don't care. I've never cared less about a thing in my life. This is utterly addicting cotton candy popcorn, just delicious. Sexy popcorn is what it is. I feel like there are things, there's a level of entry for this book that I think you're supposed to have read before. Like I feel like you're supposed to have read Sarah J Maas before you read these books, so I'm a little uncultured I guess in some ways, because like there were things like people have wings. Was that explained? No. Why does some have wings, some don't? I don't know, don't ask me. I'm just here for the kisses. I guess I should tell you what it's about. It's like The Bachelor meets The Hunger Games. It's a human girl who gets kidnapped and forced into this game with a bunch of other fae women who are all competing to be the next queen in this kingdom and marry the king. And you kind of got the mystery of like why she's there, why she was taken out of this prison, and like, is she gonna survive? Is she gonna win? You know? I honestly picked this up as research for just writing romantic when this came for us, all that kind of stuff, and I just like kind of got into it. It's kind of my thing now. I will say though, as someone who has like never really read smut like this, listening to it on audio, just like going about my day, washing my sheets or washing my dishes, like whatever, and then things are said, words come into my ears and you just you can't stop it. It's not like a book where you see a word and you're like, oh, like it's like jump scares. It's constant jump scares because I'm just living my life and all of a sudden these words are going deep in my skull and I sit down what I'm doing and then my hands go up like this and I'm like, and I look for something to stop it and I can't stop it, and it's trauma. It is constant trauma, but I'm also into it. So this is my journey with a romantasy. Aren't you guys excited? Okay, and I'm gonna quickly switch over into life stuff because I don't have that much more to talk about. I did do a little bit of coloring. I got back into it after the 75 hard challenge. Like, it was taking up all my creativity. Now I'm done with that, so I have a little bit more. I finally finished this page that I've been working on the whole summer, and I think it turned out pretty cute. I was trying some cool reflective stuff with the water. It didn't turn out perfect, but it turned out still really good to me. Like this is good for me. I'm very proud of it. I had a lot of fun with this. So look at these little coconuts. They're just chilling. Love them, man. Would love to be this little guy. Speaking of the 75 challenge, you know, I was doing kind of like a cool down challenge in September just to see how often I was still hitting my 75 daily tasks, you know. And here's the tracker. This is how it looks. Black is days completed, gray are days that are scheduled to be off, and then the whites with the slash through are when things weren't completed. You can see we kind of went off a little off the rails, just a little bit towards the end of the month. Yeah, here's the thing. If I decide, like if I let myself, how do I want to say this? If I do tasks because I have to do them, in my head I have to do them because there's no other choice, mainly discipline, i.e. discipline, I do them. If it's like, well, the challenge is over, if I feel like doing them, I'll do them. Motivation, no. If I go by motivation, bad. If I go by discipline, good. Right now, the problem is we're going a lot by motivation and things are not getting done as much. The 7 a.m. wake ups is out. I've been getting up at 8 a.m. Like it's just my new norm. I'm not mad about that. I am waking up at 8 a.m. though, so happy about that. The 4 hours of novel writing still going well, still going strong. The 30-minute walks and the workouts are going well. I kind of did start skipping a few workouts towards the end, as you can see. That's just because my program that I was doing ended and I'm kind of like in this flux state, which tells me that I just need to start a new program so I stay disciplined. So I just feel like I need another little reset, which is what the 75 was in general. I'm like, should I just constantly be in a 75 hard challenge? And yeah, so I mean, like that was pretty much September for me for the most part, was just working through all of this stuff, reading some pretty good books. I did get this really cute pillow from Michael's. I'm gonna show you guys. Look at him. He's just a darling. Just a darling. Look at his little legs. My dogs definitely think he's a chew toy, but so far we have only suffered one defeat, and if I'm more vigilant, we will survive. So anyways, you guys, that was my September. That's everything that I've been having going on. That is why I have disappeared, because I have just been working on so many projects, so many different deadlines, so many different things happening. But yeah, I'm really excited to start getting back into weekly videos again, and working on a publishing trends video right now. I've got the summer publishing trends video happening, so don't forget to let me know how your reading, writing, and life stuff went in the month of September. If you guys want to keep up to date more with me, you can always join the Patreon. I mean, I'm on there like every day, so you can just chat with me if you want. And if you've not ordered the Glass Witch or the Oz, order links are always down below. It is spooky season, perfect time to get the Glass Witch and the Oz. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.